would you like to say a little bit about yourself and talk a bit, how you got into studying art, perhaps?
Okay, sure. My name is Kae Sasaki. I'm originally from Japan. I did my first degree in German literature in Tokyo years ago, and I really enjoyed the program, and particularly studies into fairy tales. So this is one of the sources of inspiration in terms of art making. And then 8 years ago, I got into BFA program, and it took me 8 years because I was working full time, and I produced two beautiful children, now 2 and 4. And they are also my inspiration as well. And that's where I am right now.
Oh, fantastic that you're still doing your art. I'm also a mother, so I'm always trying to find time in between, so I know where you're coming from. Can you describe the time when you first realized that creating was something you absolutely had to do?
Well, that came in really late. I've always wanted to study art, but the first degree, of course, that was German literature. I really wanted to go to a good university, so I enjoyed doing that. And then when I came here, I found out quickly that you can only have to pay per credit. So I thought that's an affordable way to work my way through BFA. So that's how I got into it. But the last year, when I was doing the senior thesis, which is a concentrated studio work, and taking the sculpture at the same time, it was so really intense, and what came out of that the whole year was so significant that I think that's when I realized that I really want to continue either professionally practicing it or going into the masters in the future. So that's that.
Well, you've kind of touched on this. I was going to ask you what inspires your work, the ideas that inspire you, and maybe there's an artist in particular that may inspire you.
Well, in Japan, the observational drawing is really valued in terms of training in art, and which is not practiced a lot here. But so precision in drawing and those things are important to me, and also the fascination with the fairy tales that really let you revisit your childhood, or as you come into your motherhood and you start seeing things that the kids are discovering as they grow up, and it's really fascinating. And as well, my own childhood, when I look back to it, and when you compare notes in terms of what the fairy tales and each of the symbolism stands for, it's really fascinating, and I really wanted to realize it in a visual way. So that's and of course a degree in German literature, and really concentrating on the studies on Grimm's fairy tales. That was really fascinating.
Yeah.
So I'm just really trying to utilize my first degree with my second degree and try to feed off each other.
Yeah, they're feeding into each other. So is there anything in particular that you might be trying to communicate with this piece? Beyond the fairy tale? Yeah.
Yes. Well, this particular piece started out as titled as Whisper, and then changed into Listen, and now it's called Girl Walking in Flowers. And it's really about a girl who's listening to the wind. She's taking the time, just sort of, she's in the midst of walking through flowers, and she's listening to something. It could be the wind, it could be someone else from afar, it could be the voice within that she's listening to. And I just think it's a fascinating sort of in the moment sort of pose that I wanted to capture. It is also modeled after my older daughter, Hannah Zoe. She's 4.5 now, and she has a bit of a hearing issues, and but she does this thing that she listens with her closed ear that she can't hear from, and I just was really fascinated since she was 1. She used to do that and pretend to be on the phone with grandma or something, and I thought that's an interesting thing to do with something that you don't have ability to listen with. So
yeah, that's very interesting.
There's a personal reference to that as well. So I'm really curious to know what she will find as a piece when she grows up. And so that is that.
And it works on many levels. I mean,
yes.
someone could look at it and think about their childhood or all sorts of things.
And it's really unique. One of the really unique thing about this sculpture is that it's going to be cast in bronze, and then it's going to be stand right on the ground, so it's not going to be on a big, tall plinth. So you walk up to it, you can kneel down and either whisper to the statue or share the story, or just, try to see if you can listen with her. So it's the way you can approach physically to this 3 feet tall sculpture is another interesting thing about this piece.
And you talked a bit about you're going to have it cast at a foundry.
Yes.
Do you want to talk a bit more about that?
Yes, I'm really excited. So when I entered into the CPAM competition, it's basically you make a maquette of what you want to make, large scale, actual scale, and you get to choose your medium as long as it fits in your budget. And I thought, wouldn't that be really nice if I can learn how to cast in bronze? And the supervisor, who is the Professor Gordon Reeve, he's offering his time to teach whatever that's in my wish list. So that was my wish list to cast in bronze, and I'm learning right now, which is an amazing opportunity. And so really excited. And we're going to drive it down to Wyoming, where the foundry is, and they're going to take a mold and then take the wax in, and then it's going to be cast in bronze, and it's going to be so beautiful in fall.
Are you going to give it any kind of a special patina afterwards? We'll be working with the bronze after it comes back?
Yes, I'm really attracted to the green patina, really orthodox, basic one. And maybe because her dress of the sculpture has high relief flowers in it, so I like to make a particular way of application that will really best accentuate that high relief sort of coming out of the dress, coming out of that statue sort of effect. So hoping to learn how to do that first and then applying for that.
Now what about, I know you're a mother, but any future goals in terms of doing more artwork and finding the time to do it?
Yes, well, since this is modeled after my first daughter, my second daughter will be wondering if I'm going to make
Where's my
a
statue?
of her. Well, I have one idea that I really like to do, and hopefully I'll be able to afford to cast in bronze as well. So that's one goal. And I have a show coming up at the Winnipeg Art Gallery. On the downstairs, they're going to have a major exhibition about fairy tales, which just opened, I think. It's going to run till September, so I'm going to have 3 weeks. The last 3 weeks of that main show, I have my own show downstairs of my paintings, because I'm a painting major.
Oh, I didn't know
who
that.
happens to be sculpting as well. So
Yeah.
that's one thing I'm really looking forward to.
Oh, that's exciting. And did you graduate with a BFA
Yes.
this year?
Yes.
Okay.
Just graduated.
Oh, well, wonderful. Okay, well, thank you very much.
You're welcome.